Now in 4 News Now at 6, a community in mourning as police search for the person responsible for shooting a 13-year-old in Spokane. What the school district is doing to help students struggling with the loss of their classmate.
Well, these cold, sunny days are not going to last long. I'm tracking the return of rain and snow in the first alert forecast.
A push to roll back Medicaid access in Idaho. How many people could lose access to health care if the law is repealed? You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
Well, this is Gavin Looper, a 13-year-old 8th grader at Peppersack Middle School. He was killed Saturday in Hilliard while playing video games by a gunshot to the head. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Derek Dice.
And I'm Kirsten O'Connor. Police have not shared any more information other than telling us a teen was killed in a Hilliard home. Gavin's family, though, shared with us he was hit by gunfire through the back door of the house. That home is near Regal Elementary and the Hilliard Library on Heroy Avenue. Hunter Bertram joins us live in that area tonight. He also had the chance to speak with family yesterday. Hunter?
Yeah, Kirsten, Renee Roger, Gavin's mom, tells me that he was a light in her life, her family's, and his community. She says that no sense of justice will ever help her heal this wound, and she also shared that the senseless act of violence took everything from her.
This cost me something irreplaceable. He was a good boy who was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He wasn't a bad kid.
He was such a good kid.
Gavin. I also spoke with Renee's other son, Gavin's older brother, Jordan. He was in the Hilliard home when the shooting happened.
At first, when I woke up, I just thought everybody was joking at first. And then I just started seeing people running and screaming and crying.
Jordan then told me he found his brother shot, and he held him until first responders arrived, telling him to stay with him. Gavin died just over an hour later. But today, so many questions of what happened and who did it remain unanswered. I've been calling and texting Spokane police since we learned about the shooting, and they've released no information beyond telling us the teen was killed in the Hilliard home. I spoke with neighbors of that home where Gavin was shot, and they say that they are on edge knowing that a shooter has yet to be caught. But in honor of Gavin, Saturday night, you can see in this video, there was a large turnout at Hartfield on the South Hill to honor Gavin's life. Now, just to re-emphasize, we have been trying to get additional information, requesting that from SPD. However, they have not answered multiple requests we have sent over to them. Now, the only new information we did learn today from the medical examiner that Gavin did die from a gunshot wound to the head. We'll make sure to stay on top of this and bring you the latest information as it becomes available. Live in Hilliard, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
Thank you, Hunter. Let's take a live look inside of Spokane City Hall as the meeting is just getting started here in the next few minutes. City Council will be discussing Mayor Lisa Brown's plan to reduce overdoses in downtown. She plans on doing that with 2 separate ordinances. The first, if approved, would require all stores that sell drug paraphernalia like pipes and foils to also provide Narcan, the medicine that reverses overdoses, for free. The second would create an alcohol impact area that would ban the sale of single-serve to-go alcohol in downtown after midnight. That includes things like tall boys and small bottles of liquor. SPD says off-premise alcohol stores are hotspots for drug activity, and the alcohol impact area would be voluntary for the first 6 months. If approved by the state's Liquor Control Board, it would become mandatory, though. We'll have more on the council's discussion tonight on Nightside, starting at 11 o'clock.
Well, our chilly but sunny weather is slowly coming to an end.
Our team of weather experts are tracking the return of snow. Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker to see when it's expected to get icy and snowy, Chris.
Well, it is going to take a little while. We have more weather just like this in the short term. Bright blue skies, cold, clear nights, and that sunshine certainly is going to stick around for 2 to 3 more days. 4 things to know about your weather: more sunshine. We have an air stagnation advisory in effect. Then we start to see a pattern change on Friday with rain and snow Friday and Saturday, and then cold and snow next week. And it looks like that trend is going to continue. I'll talk more about that later in the news. First, we have a ridge of high pressure moisture continuing over the region. It's keeping the clouds away, the winds light, and the pollution trapped at the surface. We have an air stagnation advisory. It has been extended, was set to expire today at 4 o'clock. Now goes all the way through Friday when we start to see those changes in our weather pattern. Right now, our air quality is in pretty good shape, good to moderate range, but we're keeping a close eye on that. Your Tuesday planner is a familiar theme. Cold in the morning, lots of sunshine, high temperature just below average. I'll be back to go over those changes on the way in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. The WIAA's Representative Assembly has finalized its proposed amendments that would keep transgender athletes from competing in the same division as girls assigned female at birth.
This comes after school districts across the state have called on the WIAA to change its current policy, which allows students to participate in the sport consistent with their gender identity. Marissa Rio has been following this story for months now and shares the Assembly's concerns.
Not much has changed when it comes to the two proposed amendments that are in relation to this issue. But after today's discussions, we can now see where the WIAA's Assembly representatives stand. Here are the finalized proposed amendments. This first one would make it so there are two categories of sports: boys and open division, where any student athlete could participate, and then the girls division, which would be limited to students whose biological sex is female. This other proposed amendment right here is similar, but would instead create a third open division for all students interested.
I would like to make a motion to withdraw this amendment from voting.
Debate erupted as soon as the WIAA introduced the amendment that would limit girls' sports to only those whose biological sex is female.
As I believe that it currently violates state law, I don't believe that we should be asked as athletic directors to vote on something that currently violates state law.
Others felt differently.
If we are going to continue to place a value on sex-separated sports intended to provide fair and equal opportunity for girl athletes, which I believe was the original intent of Title IX, then this topic deserves our discussion.
David Vanderyacht said many of his community's concerns were brought up after East Valley's transgender student athlete won the 2A girls 400-meter run in May. He acknowledged that this was a sensitive topic and said transgender student athletes need protections as well.
We want our transgender athletes, students, to be accepted by their peer groups, to be welcomed into their peer groups. We have a responsibility to create those environments in our schools, and we must be committed to supporting those students.
The motion to withdraw these amendments was instead changed to table these amendments until next year. That motion ultimately failed. Both amendments will now move forward and be voted on in April. If these amendments were to pass, the WIAA said it still cannot implement them if they are deemed to not be in compliance with the Washington law against discrimination. In studio, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
Well, firefighters put out a house fire this morning just north of Spokane Valley. It happened at around 8 a.m. on North Lehman Road, north of Bigelow Gulch. No one was home at the time and no injuries were reported. The cause of this fire is still under investigation.
Well, still ahead, the federal government arrested more than 1,000 migrants across the U.S. over the weekend. Now parents fear they might be next. What the governor of Washington is doing to make sure families are not separated as the president executes his mass deportation plan.
And you might need to start shopping for a quote to insure your gun in Washington. Why one man says gun owners are being unfairly targeted.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+. Sign up for the 4 News Now Daily Local at KXLY.com.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. And want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you want to do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Coeur d'Alene Casino. Coeur d'Alene Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
Station 51, we have an emergency. Paramedics Johnny Gage and Roy DeSoto, please report to ETV immediately.
All right. We'll be there in a second.
Emergency.
Watch weekdays on MeTV 4.2.
For the greatest selection at the lowest prices, come to Cost Less Carpet.
As a general contractor, I bring my clients to Cost Less Carpet so they can see every option.
Everything I need is always in stock.
If it's trendy or new, I'm sure you'll find it here.
And their team of designers are so fun to work with.
It really is worth the experience.
I can find everything for my home or my client's home. no problem.
Shopping here is an awesome experience.
Cost Less Carpet, where inspiration and ideas happen.
Now that's Montana Sapphire from Phillipsburg, Montana.
ABC's World News Tonight at 4 News Now, when the local story is national news.
When national stories hit home, watch ABC World News Tonight at 5:30.
And 4 News Now at 6. That's what we mean when we say expect more.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. But they all just fade away. But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
Fresh Firestone baked pizzas are now available at the Coeur d'Alene Casino. Welcome to Arrowhead Pizza. Specialty pizzas with top-notch ingredients and flavors that hit the jackpot. Located inside Coeur d'Alene Casino's food court. Visit cdacasino.com for details.
Winning is just the beginning.
Washington legislators have proposed a bill that would require gun owners in the state to insure their firearms.
This bill is still in the early stages and hasn't even been scheduled for a vote. But a local gun store owner told our Mary Sheridan this bill unfairly targets gun owners.
People of all means purchase firearms, and so this is a tax on low income, high income, middle income families, everybody.
Jeremy Ball owns Sharpshooting Indoor Range and Gun Shop in Spokane. He worries that if House Bill 1504 moves forward in Washington legislature, gun owners in Washington wouldn't be able to afford to keep their firearms.
Tying a financial responsibility to a constitutional right doesn't make any sense when we especially don't even hold that as the same standard across multiple other facets of business and life within Washington state.
The proposed bill would require gun owners to cover each firearm under a firearm liability policy, providing at least $25,000 per gun. If this legislation were to move forward, it would most severely impact those who own multiple firearms.
Firearms retailers are required to hold a minimum of $1 million of liability coverage per incident. And so for most dealers, that's going to be significantly higher than what they currently are. They have available to them, and also from a cost perspective is probably significantly higher than they're able to afford.
Ball worries that if this bill progresses, people might look for ways to cut corners and skip important safety protocols that ensure that firearms end up in the right hands.
The best form of insurance is education. We want people to go through these processes, so set the bar high, but don't make it unachievable.
In Spokane, Mary Sheridan, 4 News Now.
Also happening in Olympia, a group of Republican lawmakers want to change the way you vote in the state. A bill sponsored by Eastern Washington lawmakers would end the practice of voting almost completely by mail. The bill states that the practice of voting by mail has increased turnout, but claims this increase in turnout has come at the expense of ballot security. It specifically aims to re-implement in-person voting in Washington, with absentee ballots allowed on a limited basis. Lawmakers say voting by mail robs voters of the privacy and security of the voting booth, writing, instead, they are subject to potential intimidation, electioneering, and fraud while filling out and casting a ballot. The bill, which does not include any specific examples of such fraud, has been referred to committee for review.
In Boise, lawmakers are considering repealing a law that expanded Medicaid access in Idaho. House Bill 58 would repeal Medicaid expansion that was approved by over 60% of Idaho voters in 2018. Medicare advocacy group Idaho Supports Medicaid says polls from 2023 show Idahoans still support keeping Medicaid expansion the way it is.
I think there's probably a path forward without repealing it. I think it's adding safeguards within that expansion. And I actually have been working on drafting a bill to help deal with that.
We'll show you how many people could lose access and why some lawmakers want to repeal the law in the first place tonight at 6:30.
High temperature today in Spokane, 34 degrees, just a couple of degrees below average, but look at our morning low, 16. That's 10 degrees off the mark. Sunset tonight was at 4:44. We're going to warm up a little bit and then cool down a lot in the 7-day forecast and add some snow. I'll tell you all about it after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Post Falls Volkswagen.
If you've been in a wreck with a big truck,
You can bet the trucking company has a lot of lawyers working for them
that's when you call Russell and Hill.
to make sure you get all the money you deserve.
Call 800-LAW-0842.
Look who it is. Back to mommy you go.
Jake, this isn't our dog.
No?
You never got new glasses, did you?
Well, you didn't know Stanton Optical makes eye care easy.
Exactly. Sorry, and you were?
Nervous? 2 pairs of glasses and a free eye exam for $79, all same day. Stanton Optical. Easy as our thing.
That was fun.
Yeah, but I can't find my phone.
Maybe try retracing your steps.
You know what this is?
Hello?
Find your phone yet?
I'm still thinking.
A new year and a new adventure with the perfect Chevy to take you anywhere. With pure power unleashed and future-forward technology. Because every mile matters. And every path leads to new possibilities. Get 2.9% APR plus no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2025 Equinox models. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Hi, I'm renovation expert Scott McGilvery. I know bath remodeling and I've seen all the gimmicks. Buy now, half off, free installation. This is why I work with Bathfitter. With 40 years of experience and 2 million installs, I trust their integrity. Bathfitter gives you a fair price and sticks to it with a lifetime warranty. You don't need gimmicks, just a partner you can trust. Bathfitter, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
All right, welcome back. It has been another sunny but chilly day.
Yeah, sunny, that's one S word. The one that you keep mentioning, Chris, is snow.
I know, and I feel like we really want to start raising, we are the first alert weather team. We want to alert you that you're going to have to get out of this mode of just waking up and having an easy drive to work and not worrying about your Gore-Tex or your snow boots or your snowblower. But let's take a look at conditions right now. There is more of the same in the short term. Here's a live look over the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena. It's another cold evening, light winds, clear skies, 29 degrees in Spokane. We're going to be dropping into the teens again. 23 in Coeur d'Alene right now with clear skies, looking over US 95 and I-90 right now. Boy, no problems on the roads. I say that out for a walk today, even at noon in the shady spots, there's definitely some frost. So it's not completely clear, even with very little precipitation lately. Tracking our weather pattern, we have been under the influence of this monster ridge of high pressure that's been centered off the coast for more than a week now. It puts us in that northerly flow, bringing down very dry, very cold air from Canada. Well, this is going to start breaking down as early as tomorrow, flattening, and that's going to help bring our temperatures up to average and even a little bit above by Thursday. Here's Thursday, 4 a.m. That ridge is flattening. We'll start to see a few clouds move in, and then the first of a number of systems moving in for Friday. And it looks right now that it's going to be a mix of rain and snow in the valleys. The sun angle high enough that our roads may stay in good shape, heating up nicely. We'll get some mountain snow, which we could definitely use. Little fresh powder heading into the weekend. And then the next system drops down out of the Gulf of Alaska here Saturday at 7 a.m. This one comes in for Sunday and Monday. It's going to pull in some colder air, and it's going to be all snow on the way. Our high temperature trend, as I mentioned, our temperatures moderate a little bit as our ridge of high pressure flattens, stays up until Saturday, and then drops back down, a high of 27 on Monday. And the trend going forward in the 8 to 14-day forecast, the 4th through the 10th, navy blue, indicating a very strong signal of below average temperatures and a trend toward above average precipitation. Get out your snow blowers and get them ready, because we've got possibly a little bit of accumulating snow in the valleys Friday and Saturday. We'll dial in on that as we get closer to time. Difficult travel conditions over the mountain passes, building up our snowpack, getting fresh snow for the skiers, and then that snow comes down more meaningfully into the valleys starting Sunday into Monday. So there'll be some shoveling to do, some snowman to build. Maybe we can all go sledding finally in town, and we'll talk more about it in the next half hour. Kirsten?
All right, see you then, Chris. Immigration crackdowns launched from coast to coast, including in Chicago, where officials say Immigration and Customs Enforcement alongside DEA agents are conducting enhanced targeted operations.
Some state and local governments are vowing not to assist in the raids. In many places, fear is now sweeping through their communities, too.
We're also receiving reports that people are not going to work, that children are not going to school, and people are reluctant to go and even visit their doctor.
Officials for ICE say they made more than 1,200 arrests over the weekend nationwide. Last year, ICE averaged more than 300 a day.
Here in Washington State, Governor Bob Ferguson has pledged to help the migrant families who may be separated. He has ordered the creation of the Family Separation Rapid Response Team. Madeline Mullins explains how this group will help protect these families.
Talking to the residents, listening to how they're feeling, assuring them that we're there for them and that we're going to work our hearts out.
Easing the minds of the scared and uncertain. That is what the People That Thrive, an organization helping immigrants and refugees in Spokane, have been doing since Donald Trump's calls for mass deportations.
I'm worried about the next thing that will come out of this administration.
And preparing for what will come next from this administration is why Governor Bob Ferguson has formed the Family Separation Rapid Response Team.
We'll stand up for your rights, we'll protect your freedoms. That's central to who we are, and we'll continue doing that.
The team will focus on finding and enacting policies and procedure to keep families together, as well as coming up with a plan for when families are separated and a child's parent or guardian is deported.
Making sure that kids who are torn away and separated from their parents have someone to care for them, and they have uninterrupted access to their education.
The response team will also work to support a child's path to higher education and heal the trauma someone may have from their parents being deported.
Our children should not have to go through the trauma of being afraid to go to school because of the possibility of their families being separated.
Thrive said it's grateful to be in a state that cares about its migrant population. And now, more than ever, it's time for organizations like themselves to step up.
We're going to be a bigger community voice here in Spokane, but also in Olympia and in Washington, D.C., because with what's happening, you can't play the middle. You have to get out there and help protect a safe space for all of our refugees.
Castro Lang says that refugees are a crucial part of the community and the economy, and that investing in and protecting them with things like this executive order will only better the community. In Spokane, I'm Madeline Mullins, 4 News Now.
Still ahead, a store that's been in River Park Square for decades is now gone for good.
We'll show you which one coming up.
Egg prices are up as bird flu spreads among livestock here in the U.S., and now some health experts are questioning the federal government's response under the Trump administration. I'm Rena Roy, and I'll have the latest coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
This week, what do you call Reese Witherspoon, Sterling K. Brown, and Lisa Ann Walter kickstarting your morning live?
Very good television.
Plus, it's one of the most anticipated biopics of the year, and Gloria Gaynor herself is on Good Morning America this week.
As temperatures drop, your heating bill will inevitably rise. And with cold weather right around the corner, things are about to get expensive. But Bill's Heating and AC is here to help. We're including a free cold climate heat pump with every furnace while supplies last. You heard that right. Cut your heating bills in half with a new energy-efficient cold climate heat pump for free. We're the area's top cold climate heat pump experts. So don't miss out on this incredible offer. Call Bill's Heating and AC today.
Are you struggling to get through the day? Are you experiencing chronic pain, burning, numbness, and tingling in your hands or feet? Pay attention, because you are probably experiencing peripheral neuropathy. The most common symptoms are numbness, burning, muscle cramps, and problems with balance. Neuropathy is treatable, and our office can help. It's time to get real results. Pick up your phone and call us right now. If you're one of the first 25 callers, you'll receive a free nerve damage screening. This nerve damage screening will tell you if you're at risk for serious nerve damage and if you're qualified for our cutting-edge treatment program to stop the nerve damage. Don't wait until it's too late and your symptoms get so bad that you lose your freedom and are restricted to a wheelchair, walker, or need amputation. Call now to be one of the first 25 callers to receive a free nerve damage screening. Hurry, call now to find out if you qualify for our free nerve damage screening and see how we can change your life. It's time to feel better. Call today.
Your home is more than a place. It's a feeling, a reflection of who you are. And at the Tin Roof, we believe furniture should do more than fill a room. It should inspire it. From timeless dining tables to sofas you can sink into and decor that tells your story, every piece is thoughtfully curated to make your space feel effortlessly you. Because it's not just furniture, it's where memories are made, where comfort lives, and where life happens. It's more than furniture, it's a feeling.
Individuals, couples, and families. You could get a refund of up to $1,290 back on taxes paid last year, as well as refunds for 2023 and 2022. Learn more at workingfamiliescredit.wa.gov.
4 News Now is brought to you by Schweitzer.
Well, you've most likely noticed it by now. The price of eggs has skyrocketed over the last few weeks. Now, the rise is due to lower supply because of cases of bird flu found in flocks across the country.
Yeah, the federal government says they're watching the situation carefully when it comes to the bird flu, but there are questions surrounding the CDC's response, with the Trump administration freezing many external communications for federal health agencies. ABC's Rena Roy explains.
As bird flu affects the nation's egg supply.
I couldn't believe it. We just bought eggs, and they were like $11, $12.
At least 36 million egg-laying chickens have been killed in recent months to prevent the spread of the virus. Local officials suspect bird flu may be to blame in Brockton, Massachusetts, where dead swans were discovered in this pond, the park shutting down to the public. Workers on this Long Island, New York farm say they're euthanizing nearly 100,000 ducks after bird flu was detected there. And now, for the first time, a different, rarer subtype of the virus has been found on a duck farm in Merced County, California, according to the World Organization for Animal Health.
We need better surveillance on farms. We need better surveillance in the livestock because we need to know where this virus is spreading.
But the Trump administration has ordered the CDC and other federal health agencies to pause most external communication at least through the end of the month, meaning they're limited to communications only deemed related to emergencies or critical to preserving health.
You disable your smoke alarm or your smoke detector. Federal data is critical because first, it's a fast-moving outbreak. Second, the outbreak involves multiple states.
The CDC's weekly report, which they've put out for more than 60 years, was not published during Trump's first week in office. As a result, a new study relating to bird flu was among the topics not reported by the CDC last week.
And so far, the CDC says more than 60 people have been infected with the virus, with one case turning deadly. Experts warn there are likely even more that have gone unreported. But for now, health officials stress the risk to humans is low, with no evidence of person-to-person spread. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Well, a new bill in Idaho could change the future of Medicaid expansion, impacting tens of thousands of residents.
Will it save the state millions or leave people without coverage? That's coming up next.
A proposed law could require bars, hotels, and other places that serve alcohol to sell drug tests for spiked drinks. I'm Albert James at the state capitol in Olympia. Hear how high school students champion the bill to keep people safe. Coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Surf and turf. Surf and turf. Low and slow and oh, roasty beef. 2 of those things for $6.99. Arby's, we have the meat.
I'm 100% ready to fall in love.
He's perfect. It's sinking in that these other girls are dating my boyfriend. You act like you don't care. He knows how I feel.
I did not know how hard this was going to be.
For the professional, it's not enough to possess knowledge. We seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries. Knowledge is put to the test in every GMC Sierra. Get 0.9% APR on select Sierra 1500 models. That's over $4,200 in average finance savings.
See your local GMC dealer.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. Could they all just fade away? But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
Individuals, couples, and families, you could get a refund of up to $1,290 back on taxes paid last year, as well as refunds for 2023 and 2022. Learn more at workingfamiliescredit.wa.gov.
Surf and turf. 2 sandwiches. The sea giveth crispy fish. Ho, 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 ho. For $6.99. Arby's, we have the meat.
A dirty secret, a long fight for justice.
We were exposing something that they didn't want exposed.
Millions of tons of toxins dumped into the Columbia River.
When my kids started getting Crohn's and MS, it just broke me.
Now, a major EPA decision could bring cleanup, but is it enough to protect future generations? Hear from the families living with this toxic legacy and the people tasked with making things right. Watch Thursday at 6, only on 4 News Now.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Well, Idaho lawmakers are considering repealing Medicaid expansion that voters approved just a few years ago.
Supporters of this new bill believe it could save the state over $100 million, but others are pushing back on that idea. Derek Strom spoke with people on both sides about how this could affect people across the state.
Derek, Kirsten, Reclaim Idaho estimates repealing Medicaid expansion could cost up to 100,000 people their health care coverage. One local representative believes in making changes to Medicaid, but doesn't think it should be repealed altogether.
It's actually saving taxpayers money in many respects, and it's providing life-saving health care for tens of thousands of our neighbors.
Over 60% of Idaho voters supported expanding Medicaid in 2018 to help more low-income families, people with disabilities, and seniors qualify for health insurance. But now Idaho lawmakers have a bill that would roll back that expansion, and if it passes, tens of thousands of people could lose their coverage.
But based on the latest reports, it looks like there's well over 90,000 who are currently benefiting from the program all across the state of Idaho.
Supporters of House Bill 58 say cutting Medicaid expansion would save the state over $100 million. Coeur d'Alene Representative Jordan Redmond says he doesn't want the program repealed, but making changes to Medicaid could still save the state money.
One issue we deal with is the Department of Health and Welfare within that budget has a very large improper payment, meaning that these payments are going where they should not go, essentially fraud, waste, and abuse within that.
Redmond says he's drafting a bill that he hopes to get to the Health and Welfare Committee this week to help the current Medicaid system save money. He says most of the people that have reached out to him about House Bill 58 are against repealing Medicaid expansion.
I've spoke to the chairman. He'll allow me to have my hearing dealing with the safeguards, kind of putting more accountability into the department. But if that's not able to advance, then I think repeal is the next option.
The Idaho House Health and Welfare Committee, which Representative Redmond is a part of, is scheduled to meet tomorrow. And polling from Idaho Supports Medicare in 2023 shows over 70% of Idahoans are still in favor of keeping Medicare expansion as is. In studio, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
Well, thank you, Derek. One of River Park Square's longest-standing tenants has closed up and moved out. The signs outside of Banana Republic are gone, and the store is empty now. The store was open as recently as just last week. A spokesperson for the mall says Banana Republic has been a valued retail merchant for many years and will be missed.
Yeah, that store has been in that spot on the first floor of the mall for a long, long time.
I feel like they were one of the original tenants of River Park Square.
It's definitely like the window shopping zone, right? As you're walking through.
It's a prime spot.
Pottery Barn right there too from the outside.
Well, hopefully something really cool will be taking its place. Something really wet is going to be taking the place of all this blue sky and sunshine weather. My goodness, we have some changes coming, which is probably a good thing for a number of reasons. In the short term, more sunshine, but we also have an air stagnation advisory. We have not had any systems moving through to stir up our air. Light winds, that high pressure trapping all the pollutants of our burning and cars all at the surface. So our pattern change on Friday comes with a rain-snow mix, more rain and snow for Saturday, and then we've got cold and just plain old snow next week. I know that's a ways away, but we want to give you the first alert so you can begin planning, because this is going to be a major change after a prolonged period of dry, sunny weather. Air stagnation advisory has been extended. It now goes through Friday for the area shaded in dark gray on your screen. Does not include the Columbia Basin for the time being. Tomorrow, we're going to start the day off at 16 degrees, very similar to the day we've had today, heading up to a high of 33. 36 is our average high. Lot of beautiful, bright sunshine, and our sunset now about 4:45, so more time to enjoy it and enjoy it while it lasts. I'll be back to tell you about those changes on the way in just a few minutes, Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you. Around the Northwest, a Texas man accused of vandalizing Leavenworth's Front Street Park with his pickup truck last month is now facing felony charges. 28-year-old Zachary Soltise is formally charged with malicious mischief and reckless driving by the Chelan County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. It claims Soltise deliberately drove his pickup truck into that closed area of the park, spinning out several times and causing in excess of $15,000 in damages just 2 days before Christmas. There's now a nationwide warrant out for his arrest. All right, lawmakers in Olympia are considering requiring nightclubs, hotels, and other places that serve alcohol to sell testing kits for spiked drinks.
Yeah, Murrow News fellow Albert James spoke with a group of high school students helping lead the charge and shows us why some businesses are trying to hit the brakes.
People should feel safe when they go out to bars and nightclubs. And we know that drink spiking is becoming a very real and serious problem.
Senate Bill 5330 would require bars, theaters, and other places that serve alcohol to sell drug testing kits for spiked drinks. They'd have to charge a market rate price for the strips, stickers, or other testing devices and put up signs saying they're available.
This is about just the alarming number in the rise of drug-facilitated rape that we're seeing. And I think as a state, we have to say that that culture needs to stop.
Dinger says a group of Lake Washington high school students pitched the bill to her. The group says they helped make the bill as part of their AP government class. They looked to similar legislation that became law in California, though it only covered bars and nightclubs. While they aren't of legal age to be drinking, the students say sexual assault can happen to anyone and have a lasting impact.
We really need to think about the survivors, victims, or soon-to-be victims, and we just really need to do something to be proactive and preventive. And a big part of this bill is not only to give some patrons control and protection, but build awareness.
An industry group representing restaurants and hotels supports bars being required to sell TAS, but expressed concerns about the requirement extending to other businesses and the additional cost for them to stock a product they've never sold before and track expiration dates.
Businesses that cater to family and children should retain the option to offer these products and post signage about sexual assault. We look forward to continuing the conversation and aligning the bill with the California approach, but this bill needs many more conversations.
Dingrer says she's looking forward to conversations with businesses to iron out concerns on signage and where the requirements apply. But where there's a bar, there should be a way to test a drink.
This is really not meant to be onerous, but really meant to be a partnership to make sure all the patrons are safe.
The Lake Washington high schoolers are hopeful to see their bill make it into law. The legislation is scheduled for a committee vote on Friday. At the state capitol in Olympia, I'm Albert James reporting.
Still ahead.
They're probably 400 to 500 feet down the top. Yep, I got them.
2 backcountry skiers rescued after falling hundreds of feet near Stevens Pass. How rescuers were alerted coming up.
And can a new year and a new administration revive the U.S. housing market? What experts say could still pose a challenge for home buyers and sellers. Next on 4 News Now at 6:30.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Craig Swap and Associates.
The 2025 Boat Show. 2025 boats in stock. Always the best for less. Like this Tri-Tune 150 horse with trailer at Coeur d'Alene Marine Sports. You owe it to yourself to see us before you buy. Coeur d'Alene Marine Sports, your pontoon superstore.
Ready to enjoy a vacation close to home? Come stay for less and play for more at the Kootenai Casino. Right now, cozy up in a Kootenai Falls Lodge room for just $59 midweek and $89 on the weekends. An incredible bang for your buck. Join us in January at the Kootenai Casino and win this winter. Book your stay and play now. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
What's better than a good breakfast? A good breakfast on sale, of course.
Wake up to savings for Super One Foods 12-hour cereal and breakfast sale. Assorted General Mills, Post, Multi-Meal, or Mom cereals, $1.98 each. Eggo waffles, just $1.98 per box. And Food Club's 64-ounce orange juice, just $2.48 each.
Super One Foods 12-hour breakfast sale. This Thursday only. Bring on the morning.
Coeur d'Alene Denture Clinic is locally owned and operated and has been providing personalized, comfortable, and satisfying care to our clients for over 30 years. Our licensed denturists are trained in the latest techniques in the construction, development, and preparatory work of a denture. Full dentures, implant attachments, repairs, fittings, adjustments, we do it all. Every denture is made to look as close as possible to your natural teeth. With our knowledge and friendly staff, competitive costs, and quality of service, you'll leave Coeur d'Alene Denture Clinic smiling.
The 2025 Boat Show. 2025 boats in stock. Always the best for less. Like this Tri-Tune 150 horse with trailer at Coeur d'Alene Marine Sports. You owe it to yourself to see us before you buy. Coeur d'Alene Marine Sports, your pontoon superstore.
Next DT.
Having split up made this so much easier.
Christina Hawk's next TV chapter with ex-Tarek and his wife Heather. Only we're on set of The Flip-Off.
That's wild.
Next DT.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
The people of Northport slowly poisoned over decades by a Canadian smelter. How a new EPA decision should help clean up the Columbia River and make this area safer for future generations. Watch Thursday at 6, only on 4 News Now.
U.S. home sales in 2024 fell to the lowest level since 1995 as high prices and elevated mortgage rates squeezed buyers.
Despite the tough conditions, there was some momentum toward the end of 2024. CNN's Michael Yoshida has what home buyers and sellers can expect this year.
2025 may not bring as much relief as buyers and sellers are hoping for, but still those we spoke with say there's a glimmer of hope on the horizon. After crawling to a near standstill in 2024, can a new year and a new administration jumpstart the U.S. housing market?
Looking ahead to 2025, our projection is that home sales will start to improve.
Still, two serious headwinds: housing supply and mortgage rates. Buyers and sellers have spent the past few years in the grips of the lock-in effect.
to sell your home and get a new home, you're trading in a 3-4% mortgage for a 7%, a little bit under 7% mortgage, and that's painful.
Supply beyond existing homes has been tough to find too. As prices continue to rise, experts say meeting market demand with more affordable new construction has its own challenges.
It's the only way for builders to get product sold, and they are. But their costs are increasing, and that's likely to continue through 2025.
So what signs of hope are there? Experts say falling interest rates could lead to lower mortgage rates and help with the lock-in effect. Also, there could be a Trump bump on the housing market, with the new administration potentially taking steps from tax cuts to more pro-business policies and even deregulation.
We know already that roughly $90,000 of the cost of a new home is compliance with regulations and various fees. So it seems like there's ample opportunity to revisit those regulations and try to cut back to find more effective solutions to help address this housing shortage that we've seen.
And when it comes to mortgage rates, those we spoke with say they hopefully expect to see those drop to maybe the low 6%, high 5% range by the end of the year. Reporting in Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida.
A lot of people hoping for those lower rates. Well, the stage is set for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to take on Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. No matter if you're watching for the game, the commercials, or just the halftime show, you want to have the best TV quality you can before kickoff.
And that doesn't necessarily mean you need to buy a whole new big screen. Making a few tweaks to your TV's picture setting can really be a game changer. First up, trading your TV's preset sports mode for one that can actually help you score better picture quality.
We typically recommend Filmmaker mode. It'll get you closest to the settings that we use. If your TV doesn't have Filmmaker mode, you can try movie mode, custom mode, natural, or one of the expert modes.
And the tips don't stop there. For more ways to improve picture and your quality without spending a dime, look for this story right now on KXLY.com.
Well, that is great advice. You might want to change your picture to make these temperatures warmer. Tomorrow morning, we're dropping down into the teens again. 13 in Deer Park and Spirit Lake, 18 in Post Falls around the region. Lots of spots in the teens and not very many in the 20s. I'll be back with some warmer overnights, but some more wintry weather coming in the 7-day forecast. That's after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
It's the region's largest boat show. 10 days of boats, unbeatable deals, and nonstop fun. Explore the region's largest showroom. Unbeatable pricing. Discover better boats, the largest selection of inventory, and the biggest savings, all under one roof. See the latest models from top brands like Cobalt, Malibu, Axis, Regal, Barletta, Cruisers Yachts, Harris, and Chris Craft. Plus an incredible selection of pre-owned boats. The Coeur d'Alene Boat Expo, January 30th through February 8th. A 10-day event you don't want to miss.
I'm Chad Young from theeasyhomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With theeasyhomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
For the greatest selection at the lowest prices, come to Cost Less Carpet.
As a general contractor, I bring my clients to Cost Less Carpet so they can see every option.
Everything I need is always in stock.
If it's trendy or new, I'm sure you'll find it here.
And their team of designers are so fun to work with.
It really is worth the experience.
I can find everything for my home or my client's home. No problem.
Shopping here is an awesome experience.
Cost Less Carpet, where inspiration and ideas happen.
I felt like there was just no answers to get out of the anxiety and the depression that I had.
I was suicidal all the time, thinking about it nonstop, every day, every moment.
Depression and anxiety rob millions of us of our day-to-day lives, but nothing seems to pull you out of it. Introducing NeuroStim TMS, Washington's leading provider of transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS therapy. At NeuroStim TMS, we treat the root of the problem with a series of short daily treatments. Using a non-invasive magnetic field, TMS activates the natural function of the brain's neurotransmitters to improve mood and regulate emotion. TMS is not shock therapy. It's an FDA-approved, easy outpatient experience and covered by all major medical insurances.
There's nothing better than just being able to enjoy life again.
The treatment just completely, fundamentally changed my life.
Visit neurostemtms.com today or call to schedule your free consultation at any of our 12 Washington state locations.
Sign up for the 4 News Now playbook at KXLY.com.
What I'm going to do is throw this around you like a jacket, okay?
What you're looking at here, video of rescue crews saving 3 backcountry skiers near Stevens Pass. 2 of them fell roughly 500 feet, sustaining injuries that made them unable to walk. This all happened last Wednesday. Just wild to see the body camera or whatever GoPro they're wearing there. Rescuers rushing in to save the trio after receiving an SOS alert from an iPhone.
They were down at the base of some really steep terrain near some pretty tall trees. It was really, really dark where we were going.
Thankfully, all 3 skiers were rescued and brought to safety.
Thank goodness for that iPhone, though, right? And being able to send out that SOS to get them rescued.
I know.
Man.
Just stay on the blues. You don't have to go.
That's what I prefer to do.
Wow. Thank goodness they were rescued. That made me cold just watching that video. And here I am in a turtleneck. And this forecast making me cold as well. We have more cold weather to contend with, and then things are going to change a little bit. Live conditions right now, we are already in the 20s in Spokane. And Coeur d'Alene, we've dropped to 23 degrees. Light winds, crystal clear skies. Again, we do have our air stagnation advisory in effect through Friday, but otherwise expect clear conditions until we see them go. Here's a look at our chance of wet weather over the next few days. It's 0 through Thursday, and we've already been 16 days. Actually, today is the 17th day of no measurable precipitation in Spokane. There was one day that we had just a trace, but so we're going to keep that trend going, and then it ends. And it looks like once it ends, we are going to open the storm door and let them come in one after another. 90% chance of wet weather on Friday, a 50% chance on Saturday, and falling in a variety of forms. Tracking our weather pattern, we have had this ridge of high pressure with us for more than 2 weeks now in some form, but for the most part, it's been off the coast, putting us in that northerly flow, keeping things cold and bringing in that very dry air that keeps the skies clear. Sunshine has been great, but we've got to beef up our snowpack, and there are a lot of reasons to root for this wet weather to start moving in. Wednesday, we'll see that ridge of high pressure begin to flatten. Our temperatures will get back up into the upper 30s to near 40 degrees without that northerly flow. Then we bring in this first system as we get into Friday morning. Again, falling in a variety of forms, mountain snow, but more of a rain-snow mix in the valleys. Here's Friday at 9 o'clock. Then we have another system that is going to be dropping down through the day on Saturday, and that system is going to bring a reinforcing shot of cold air. Not as much moisture to work with, so we do have a chance of snow in our forecast. Looks like every day. However, it is going to be fairly light. I don't see any big storms on the way. Our high temperature trend, we're going to be up in the upper 30s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then we really drop. Monday, a high of only 27 degrees, and that is going to come along with some light snow. Our extended forecast, February 4th through the 10th, below average temperatures and above average precipitation in that 8 to 14 day forecast. Kirsten?
Thank you, Chris. Do you have enough savings to cover a $1,000 emergency?
A recent survey suggests fewer than half of Americans will be able to pay for an unexpected bill like that. CNN's Jen Sullivan has tips on boosting your savings.
When it comes to putting money away, it appears many Americans don't have enough savings.
I think the first thing that people need to do is just to simply make their personal finances a priority.
Bankrate recently surveyed more than 1,000 adults about spending. When asked if they could pay for a $1,000 emergency, only around 41% said they had enough savings to cover a bill like that. 25% said they would put that charge on a credit card, which means that $1,000 bill could be a lot more if you don't pay it off in time due to interest.
That really raises the risk that all of a sudden we have a larger pile of debt that we have to retire. And frankly, there will be another sudden or emergency expense down the road that will only make it more challenging for us to accomplish all of our financial goals.
The most worrisome finding, 27% of adults say they have no emergency savings at all. So how can you make sure you're putting enough money away? Hamrick suggests creating a budget.
We need to identify how much we're paying for things and to isolate some of the things that are either unnecessary or too costly that we can manage from our budget.
First, calculate how much you spend on necessities, housing costs, utilities, food, car payments, phone, internet, and cable costs. Then figure out what you can put into savings. Financial experts recommend having 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in a savings account. Hamrick suggests putting money into a high-yield savings account, which means you'll be making higher interest on that money. But make sure there aren't penalties or time constraints on withdrawals, so you're able to take that money out when you need it most. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
All right, before we go to a break, here's your look at ABC's primetime lineup for your Monday night.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Who isn't looking for extra ways to save some money these days, right? I'm always looking for new ways to save, but I haven't found anything better than my Ascend checking account. It's a free account that offers 3.5% of your average monthly balance. That could feed your coffee obsession for 2 weeks. Not only am I earning money, but it also has all the best features of a checking account. What's not to love?
Open your P1FCU checking account at p1fcu.org and start earning today.
The sound, excitement, and fun of the Rod Stewart Hybrid Tribute live at the Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, February 20th. Don Felder, formerly of the Eagles, one of the most innovative riff-generating songwriters of the modern rock era, will be live Thursday, March 6th. Ready for action? It's no holds barred as King of the Cage features up-and-coming MMA stars battling it out live at the Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, April 10th. Visit the Coeur d'Alene Casino box office or cdacasino.com for tickets.
Winning is just the beginning.
What's more powerful than an unexpected storm? Insurance that helps clean it up. Western National Insurance. That's the power of nice.
Mainstream has proudly served Greater Spokane and Northern Idaho for over 20 years, offering reliable and high-quality home services. Our exceptional team is committed to delivering trusted plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical solutions that ensure the comfort and safety of your home. Our goal is to provide the best experience possible when it comes to repairing, maintaining, or installing systems that make your home a more comfortable place to live. Because we are home services, we are Mainstream.
If you're looking for an everyday truck like the Tacoma,
or something a bit bigger, like the Tundra, Colville Toyota has the truck to meet your needs.
both the Tundra and Tacoma are built to last and provide unbeatable performance in their class.
Loaded with the latest tech, with adaptive cruise control and forward collision warning, these trucks are designed to get you safely to your destination.
Come test drive a Tacoma and Tundra today at Colville Toyota, your small town dealership with a big heart.
4 News Now is brought to you by Wendell Motors.
Your planning forecast. 3 more days of sunny weather and a warming trend too. And then we're gonna bring in the wet weather. Good news for skiers, good news for our snowpack. Not the best news for parents with new teen drivers, Derek, but it'll be okay.
I feel your piercing stare. Hopefully we'll be okay.
Yeah, and I need to go get those sleds that I saw last week. They're probably gone already.